Let's get this Captain America Civil War recap in the books for our new library, mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU. You can go over check out all the titles. We're doing this really fun thing, watching the old stuff with the new stuff, seeing how they connect. I've had some really good experiences doing this with WandaVision. Certainly want to keep the trend going with with Falcon and Winter Soldier, which we will be talking about right after this. So we're going to just go from this to that. This is going to be like quick like Ant-Man.
Smooth transitions.
Trying to keep it flow. Mike, I'm going to tell everybody, I gave you guys the out on this one, and you said you didn't get the chance to watch this.
I did not. I promised to. I was going to watch it.
Yeah, but I texted you 3 days ago. I said, you have the out because we have too much to watch this week.
I mean, Snyder Cut took 4 hours.
Andy, did you get a chance to watch this? But I also know you watched this recently.
No, I watched it a couple months ago.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Not recently.
I did about spit out my drink when I saw how much money it made.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's just get into it. Captain America Civil War. Got a little help from Wikipedia today. Going to keep it nice and tight for you. If you listened last week, Ant-Man was our most recent one. This comes right after Ant-Man, and it takes place before Doctor Strange, which we'll talk about next. And then we'll talk about what other titles are coming up next in the MCU rewatch. This is the 13th film in the MCU, and it did come out in 2016, like Mike was saying. It had a budget of $250 million, and it made $1.15 billion with a B. You guys may remember Batman vs. Superman came out in March of 2016, and there was a lot of the promotions were like battling almost. The movies were battling because they were both about two sides fighting each other. And I remember just seeing like all the promotion, but this is around the same time of BVS. A little help from Wikipedia here, just give you the synopsis, and we're going to breeze right through this. Keep it nice and tight, but there's so many characters in this one. It really is basically Avengers 2.5. It's also pretty much Iron Man 4. There's not an Iron Man 4 movie, but this is starring Robert Downey Jr. With that, let's just get into it here. 2016, produced by Marvel Studios, of course, distributed now by Disney. It's the sequel to Captain America: The First Avenger, which was 2011, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which was 2014, and the film was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, who, of course, did Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame. And it's from the screenplay that is by the writing team of Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. It stars Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, Captain America, alongside a huge ensemble cast, including Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Scarlett Johansson coming back as Black Widow, Sebastian Stan here as the Winter Soldier, coming off the events of Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Bucky and Captain kind of on the hunt for this guy. Well, he shows up in this one. Big part of the story. A lot of his backstory, a lot of flashbacks. You also have Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, of course. Definitely a good title to be watching just for today. Don Cheadle coming in as War Machine, which, spoiler alert, he's in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's
that was a little bit. I didn't realize he was going to be in there that quick, I guess.
So quick. He's in this movie. He comes back as War Machine. Jeremy Renner's in this as Hawkeye. Chadwick Boseman, the late and great, R.I.P., comes in and introduces Black Panther in this movie. Tom Holland introduces Spider-Man in this movie. And we also have Daniel Bruhl playing Zemo, the bad guy of this film. Also a bad guy in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Connections.
That's what we're doing here, folks. Trying to help you out. Falcon and Winter Soldier premiered. This movie is an absolute must-watch. If you're asking yourself, which ones would I watch to prepare for this? This is maybe the top one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We said we were going to do something fun today with the conflict of this movie. We said we would talk about it, hash it out. I thought it'd be cool to do this. One, it's going to help all of us just ground ourselves with the Sokovia Accords, which play a big role. So this is going to help maybe Andy and I are very familiar. Mike's probably not too familiar.
I need this.
Do you know what they are, the Sokovia Accords? Right.
You tell me.
Perfect.
Are we about to get political in here?
It's going to get political.
Like fake political? This is great.
This is what's fun about it is because since it's a movie, who cares? And we'll try to pick a side. All right, here it is. Sokovia Accords. This is basically what happens in this movie.
I don't know what you're going to do.
Cut in. No.
Are you basically just going to tell both sides without who's on a side and we're going to pick a side?
Well, I'm going to help with the story. Since we're talking about the movie, I want to make sure it's clear that we're also it's kind of two birds, one stone. I'm going to tell you about the politics, who's involved, but I'm going to try to give the reasons why. And then we're going to ask ourselves, how do we feel about this?
I think I know which side I already lean after seeing this. But
Well, let's just
Keep
see.
going.
Let's just see.
you might change my mind.
The Sokovia Accords come up in this movie because the Avengers have made some very public mistakes. Most of all, Age of Ultron. Sokovia is the big movie there that Ultron lifts up and smashes down to the ground. And the world at that point is like, okay, too much. We need some structure around this. And that's what Civil War is all about. Here's the deal. Sokovia Accords requires superheroes to be registered and that the Avengers now have to report to a panel on the UN who decides when and where these heroes can be deployed. Whether they can go somewhere, where they can't. Or if they need them to go somewhere, they got to go. Captain America, his side is that organizations can't be trusted. We have learned this too many times with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra and the World Defense Council, or whatever they call them in the MCU. Always corrupt. His argument is, what if they tell us to go somewhere and we don't want to go there? What if we need to go somewhere and they won't let us? And he agrees that our hands are our own. Our hands are the best, rather than like trusting somebody else. Tony Stark and the other side, he is stricken by guilt in this one. He feels really bad. A mother from a kid that visited Sokovia for like help him with like building houses or something got killed, makes Tony feel all guilty. And this pushes Tony to lean toward, you know what, we need to be put in check. He's also having problems with Pepper Potts in this movie because he's been too crazy because of, if you guys remember the events of Iron Man 3, he kind of like lost his mind. And she's like, they're like taking a break in this one. They're kind of on the outs. So he wants to be like, hey, if the UN wants to put a little leash on us, it's not a big deal. And like, it's a little bit of compromise. Black Widow even says we've made very public mistakes. The whole world knows about this. It's not like it's an isolated thing. We got to win their trust back, is kind of how Tony and Black Widow are saying this. Giggler, where do you fall?
My heart lies with Team Iron Man, but with this situation, I gotta go with Team Cap.
Yeah, you can't. It's like you're giving in and you're saying, okay, we'll work for you.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. No way. I mean, they basically have special power, like not powers, but like I don't know,
abilities. They're enhanced.
Yeah, like I mean, we'll get into a lot of that kind of stuff, I guess, during when we review Falcon and Winter Soldier. But like they're getting nothing out of this. They're doing this out of their own goodwill.
Yeah, they're just like, here, we'll sign this form, and then if they do anything that they don't like, they're essentially a fugitive.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Which, spoiler alert for the movie, like we always when we talk about these, I mean, that's exactly what happens. This side over here, Captain America and his team, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, they go into hiding. I mean, that's what they do pretty much leading up to Infinity War. So that's exactly what happened there. Captain America is a fugitive of the law when this movie ends. PC Mike, what do you think about this politically?
I lay with Andy. I think it's like you're a good Samaritan. Like, I know it's a small case, but if you saw a crime happening on a street, like an old lady getting her purse stolen, do they have to go to like get permission to help that old lady?
Just like they did exploring The Boys.
Yeah.
And there was all the PR aspects behind, like Starlight did save that woman in an alley and she got in trouble.
Yeah.
We talk about The Boys on this show. It's kind of like that. That's what they're trying to show. Okay.
Like I get it's bigger scale. Like, hey, we can't destroy a whole country or tear up New York again like we've done for the 60th time.
Yeah.
But I just think you can't. He's Captain America. Like, he wants to do what's best for our country. We made him.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think he has the best interests in mind.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tony in this movie is thinking with all of his head.
Yeah.
I think he's more of his heart. And
just think of the Avengers movie without the Avengers. New York just gets destroyed.
Right.
The world's over.
Exactly.
How do they get thanked for that? Clearly they're not getting paid of any kind.
Yeah, and we learned about that.
Yeah. That scene like just blew my mind.
Oh, man.
That's obviously what that show's going to be.
We're not trying to do this, but we are sneaking some stuff in for Falcon Winter Soldier. But hey, this is what happens when the connections happen. So I'll just say spoiler alert for the show, of course.
I'm not even going to elaborate what that's about, but people that know will know.
Spoiler alert for, we're going to talk about 3 big things today. This
Civil War, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the Snyder Cut. There's your spoiler alert because we're going to be doing crossover city here.
Yeah. That's crazy. I've never thought about really what side I would be on for this. So this kind of blew my mind.
Well, it's a really fundamental question of like, well, do you believe in structure of government? Because the UN is like the top of the top. So I get both sides of like, you know what? If the UN is the World Council. So
They might have to answer to them if something does go bad.
yeah, that's what it should be. It should have almost been like, well, you just have to report to them when things like there has to be a process.
Yeah.
Instead, though, it was like you either sign up, or they lay it out. They say, or you retire. If you're not registered, you retire. That's what they said.
And then they can charge them with war crimes or whatever.
Which is exactly what happens.
But like, think about this: the United Nations is like nations on Earth. Like, this is a whole universe. Like, they deal with aliens from elsewhere.
Exactly.
Not just like, I get where if there's domestic threats, like, right, that they should potentially kind of be in check of some kind. But like when Thanos comes out and unleashes aliens,
Yeah, who's he answering
into
to?
in the world? Like, yeah, exactly.
Well, and I think we're seeing some of that. We saw some of that playing out whenever we met Sword in WandaVision. We're starting to see what a galactic security system looks like, and that's how they talked about things now. It wasn't just like the world and protecting. It was like we have galactic stuff going on now. So I feel like they're starting to get into that world of what does the world leaders do in terms of protecting things from the galaxy. So I think we're getting in there. But that's a really good point too. It's like, who are you, the UN, to know about fighting on Titan?
Like, I could get it if it's like a Nazi organization, like the UN be involved. Yes.
Right, which is what happened with Sword, or Shield.
But, I mean, you got Thanos coming in and killing half of worlds and galaxies. Like,
well, listener, what do you think? You picked Iron Man, Captain America? Let us know. Got to give a shout out to our YouTube again. We got our images here from Disney Plus, and we had a little help from the rantingsbox.com. They helped us with this image. All right, I had some top moments just to wrap this up. I'll give a rating. Giant man at the airport. Paul Rudd turning huge, and it's probably one of my top favorite moments on film. The introduction again of Black Panther. Him running down the highway with Captain America and Bucky Barnes, like all of them are running down the highway literally like 45 miles an hour and just running like next to cars.
Like Andy after 75 hard.
No more running. Honestly, I'll tell you this. In the 75 days, I did not run one time.
That wasn't your exercise of choice.
No. Walking and lifting weights and boxing, kicking ass. Just trying to be an Avenger, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're basically Avenger status now after 75 days working hard. Also, I absolutely love the introduction of Tom Holland as Spider-Man in this movie. That song that plays whenever Robert Downey Jr. goes there, it's in my head. It's like, when your love is free. I don't know.
Oh, Alt J, left hand free.
That's exactly it. So I guess I sang it well enough.
Karaoke night on Mostly Superheroes.
Careful. That'd be a show in itself.
I know.
Shout out Carson's.
Yeah, Carson, St. Louis. That's the old spot. Can't wait to get back there after... I guess they're raising. Things are happening out there. We might be able to go to Carson's for some karaoke at some point here soon.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I mean, obviously the end stuff, Cap versus Iron Man, the fight with all three of them, Iron Man, Winter Soldier, and Captain America just at the end, fighting to the end. Iron Man suit, like learning Captain America's fight patterns, and Cap leaving that shield behind. Iron Man blowing off Winter Soldier's arm with his center piece, like just blasts off his arm. And then the end scene just tugs at the heartstrings. Tony's reading that letter from Cap. Cap leaves him a flip phone. He says, "Hey, man, I know we had a rough time today, but if you ever need me, call." And they do call eventually. Mid-credit scene, Bucky goes to Wakanda, which they talked about it in the show immediately, and I can't wait to talk about it. Just gotta get through this to get to Falcon and Winter Soldier. In credit scene, Peter Parker is back in his room. They tease out Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is coming up. All right, I'll wrap up here with my review, my rating. Captain America: Civil War, one of the movies that actually lived up to all the hype it had. It really is absolutely one of my favorite films. I watch it all the time. Tells an amazing story. Introduces Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Giant Man, while tucking in an amazing story about the Avengers, Tony Stark, Captain America, and continues the story of the Winter Soldier. Like, it's really accomplishes so much. It's so impressive, and it's inching up to Infinity War. Action-packed, heartfelt, and flat-out fun, one of my favorites. I'm going to give it a 3.7. It's up there.
Yeah.
Giggler, do you want to give any final thoughts on this thing? Any moments that I missed? And feel free to give a rating, but that's your call. Your call.
As always, I'll just throw that rating out first. Get that boy out of the way. I've been thinking a lot about this while you talked about it. 3.5. It's definitely in that top tier, but not on the same realm as like Infinity War and Endgame. That's not a problem really, but it's pretty damn close because just look at the cast. Like you talked about, you crushed the best moments. Like the battle scene is like Endgame Junior almost. Like just like at the time we hadn't really seen something like that, and just the way that you kind of transport yourself back to the theater seeing that, and that was wild. Like just and the fact that Giant Man, you had Black Panther in there, Underoos, Spider-Man,
Underoos.
like just insane. And like now like they're fighting in these scenes, but then they still like everything's so sophisticated, and like their storytelling is so sophisticated enough where like you can see why it's happening, and then why they basically end up, spoiler alert, like all still being fine. They're all Avengers after it, and then eventually come back together to fight a bigger bad. It's like that, like you said last week, just like the storytelling is just insane, and this movie is kind of one of the perfect examples of it.
Yeah, how do they do that with so many characters? Like the Russo brothers are just geniuses to be able to like, just from a programming standpoint, just so impressive. And then PC Mike didn't see it, but I mean, how did me and Andy do talking about it?
I think you guys did a great job.
It sounds like a pretty good movie, probably based on what you heard.
I have seen this,
You have,
but just not in
a long
many
time.
moons.
Oh, okay. I assumed you had never seen it.
No, I've seen this.
Okay, this
is a big one.
It's a big one. All right, you don't have to say anything because you didn't see it recently.
Not recently, no.
When do you think you saw it last?
When did it pop on Netflix?
Yeah, well now it's on Disney Plus.
4 years ago.
Probably.
Yeah, you got to rate.
Came out in 2016. Probably came out in 2017, like a year later.
Yeah.
Okay.
2017.
All right.
I just remember I was frustrated about like the ideology of Iron Man. Like, I don't know, hang your hat on that. Like, I don't know, I didn't like that.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair response.
But I will not grade because it's been like
too
I said,
long.
many moons.
I can't wait you'll do an MCU rewatch. I know you're going to at some point. You've mentioned it
Maybe.
before. You've said you're the one that said it.
Maybe.
All right.
I mean, if Snyder keeps popping out these things, I might just turn my back on MCU.
Oh man, this is gonna be a good
That's quite a
discussion.
I might just go heel.
This is a good discussion today. We got a good group of stuff today for this crew. All right, wrap this one up. Just wanted to wrap up with Phase 4 connections. I already talked about a few of these, but WandaVision, very briefly, as we get ready to move into Falcon and Winter Soldier. WandaVision, though, these are the moments not long after the flashbacks that we saw in Episode 8, when Wanda went back and like was sitting in her bedroom at Avengers Campus. These are that moment was like leading up to this movie, or vice versa. I guess this was like leading up to that. Either way, see the same place. Wanda's also very much a young Avenger in this movie. She's getting a lot of training from Black Widow, a lot of one-on-one time with Captain America, and she actually does the big event that causes the Sokovia Accords to come to fruition. She takes that guy that Captain's fighting in the first 10 minutes and blows up that hospital. And that's
Crossbones?
Crossbones,
Yeah.
yes. The guy that got his face smashed in the Winter Soldier. His name's escaping me. And then Wanda's very much hanging out with, we said Black Widow and Cap, but also Hawkeye. So I still think there might be some crossover with Hawkeye and Wanda in future stuff, like maybe the Hawkeye show even. And I think that's all we had on the Falcon Winter Soldier, of course. So this is Bucky's backstory. You see a lot of him as the Winter Soldier in this film, including killing Tony Stark's parents. So that's a big thing he did. Shannon Carter is in this one helping the guys out, and she is also in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I imagine she's going to be playing a similar role, helping from like the CIA if she can. We see Falcon's journey leading up to the 2 years that he spends with Captain America, leading up to Infinity War. Again, we get introduced to Baron Zemo, the bad guy of the film, bad guy of Falcon and Winter Soldier. At the end of this movie, that Baron Zemo guy is with the CIA agent and former Air Force pilot Everett Ross. He's played by Martin Freeman, the same guy that plays the Hobbit.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if he'll maybe show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that's where Baron Zemo is at the end of this. He's in a cell with that CIA agent, and you might remember him from Black Panther. He's in that movie as well.
Also a strange connection. Pretty sure he was in a Sherlock Holmes show with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that right?
I believe you. Benedict Cumberbatch has that Sherlock Holmes show.
Pretty sure they were in it together.
He's a great.
I think he was
Watson.
Watson.
Yeah.
And he's great. I bet he kills it because he's good at everything he does. I've always seen a couple of the Hobbit films, but he's a great actor. We might see him in Falcon Winter Soldier. I guess you'd call that a theory. Not near on the crazy on the theories. Falcon Winter Soldier like WandaVision. I think it's gonna be a lot less.
I did see a great like TikTok or something about fan theories about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Just like I saw like one that was like instead of Falcon the Winter Soldier, it said Mephisto and the Mephisto.
I saw one. I saw one. It
He's
starts
coming.
off. I know we're going to talk about it, but
That's
if
fine.
I don't say it, I'll forget it.
Go ahead.
He's in the very beginning. He's ironing a shirt. He's like Iron Man. Iron Man's in this.
Oh my god! How do we not know these things?
No, let's get right into it. Let's get to the Falcon Winter Soldier. So that's our MCU rewatch for Captain America Civil War, one of the best. Go check it out at mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU, along with all of our titles, new stuff getting added every single week. Coming up, Doctor Strange is the next film, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm very excited to watch all of these and talk about them with all of you.